Hey guys, today what we're going to do is we're going to change the oil on this 2023 Subaru Crosstrek. The Crosstrek engines, whether it's a 2.0 liter or 2.5 liter, they're all essentially the same, but definitely find out three things. Number one, you want to know the viscosity of the oil that's required for the car. Number two, you want to know the quantity and if there's any specs, required for that specific oil. On this one, it's really just the viscosity of the oil that's important. I went with the advanced fuel economy Mobil 1 engine oil, and I also went with the matching Mobil 1 fuel or the oil filter. That's the M1108A. This car, the oil's been changed on it twice already. This will be the third oil change. It's got the original equipment oil filter in there. If you want to go with the original equipment, I'll put the link down below so you can go ahead and find that on Amazon. But I'm going to go ahead and use the Mobil 1 setup. So first things first, why don't I just show you the engine and then we can talk real quickly about where everything's located and we can go ahead and start removing the oil. I already warmed it up, so the engine oil is a little bit looser and a little bit more warm, so you can remove as much of the oil as possible from the crankcase. And let's get right to it. I'll show you the engine. All right, so this is the 2.0 liter non-turbo. And again, the 2.0 liter or the 2.5 liter is essentially the same. Three things you're gonna want to know. Engine oil filter is located right here. And the black one is the original equipment, or OEM. This is the filler cap for the oil. This engine requires a 0W20, 4.7 quarts. And then here on this side is the dipstick, so you can check the level. Once you put the 4.7 quarts in, you're gonna wanna see where at in terms of level. So those are the three locations you're gonna need to know. We're gonna start by removing the filler cap so that when we remove the oil from the crankcase, air can rush in and as much of the oil, old oil that you have in this engine is gonna come out. So let's go ahead and get underneath the car and remove the oil. All right, so I'm gonna take you underneath the car so you can see where the oil plug is. And you're gonna see it right there. All right, so hopefully you see that. And that's a 17 millimeter oil plug. And I believe it's got a copper crush washer. So we're gonna replace that. But we're gonna, all right, I got my 17 millimeter socket and I'm gonna use that to open up this plug right here. So just be patient. It looks like whoever put it on a little tight, so let me shut the camera off and try to remove this. All right, and then no matter how hard I try to keep this clean, it never is. But I don't know who put that nut on before. I think it was Subaru. That was ridiculous. Okay, I had to use a breaker wrench to remove it. It does not need to be on the car that tight. All right, so 30 foot-pounds maximum. It's ridiculous. Anyway, and just so you know, the crush washer on this is not copper. It's actually one of these aluminum ones. So I think I have a box of the aluminum ones. I'm going to find it, and we're going to use that one to replace the existing. Okay, just to make it match. All right, just so you see the new crush washer that I'm going to use. There it is. All right, there's a new one, the old spent one, and we're going to use that. All right, put that on there, and then we're going to put it back onto the engine and tighten this up to like 30 foot-pounds. And the breaker bar that I used to get the old one off was that. Okay, so unnecessary. It's bothering the hell out of me that had to be the case, but yeah. Let's remove the filter. Let's get going on that, put the new filter in, and we'll be done with that. Holy crap. It is pouring. Holy mackerel. Am I the only one that likes rain like this? I just love it. Awesome. Now there are tools for this, to remove the oil filter, and I have one, it just doesn't work really that well. I just used a crescent wrench, and you can kind of like place it here and loosen it up, right? So you get it to a point where you can actually like do it by hand. But that's all it takes. And then you could remove this by hand, and it's off the car. Let it drain the rest of the way. And again, this is the Subaru filter. It is model number 15208AA20A. And again, I'll find that online, and you can replace it with an original OEM if you want, or you can go with the Mobil one. And here's the new oil filter. Again, the M1 108A, right there, Mobil one. Built really well, good quality. We're going to take some oil and we're going to lubricate this seal before we install it on the new onto the car. And then also we're going to take a little bit of a rag and just clean off the surface before we mate this to the car, so that we have a good clean surface. So this right here, this polished spot, is the mating surface for the new oil filter. So just want to make sure that's clean. I got rid of any dust and debris that was collecting in here. This is a little bit of a drain for any excess oil that might hit this location, and it just brings it out of the car, out of this location. So anyway, that's what you're looking to do. Clean that surface off, get oil on the new oil filter, and let's place it back on. And no need to put any oil on the inside of this, because when you're placing it face down, or the inlet down. So anything that you put in here is going to just drain back into the crankcase. So no need to put anything in here. And again, this does not have to be super tight. Just get the threading right. Do it slowly so you don't cross thread. And then typically what I do, and usually it says it on here, it's like a half a turn or a full turn after it hits. Looks like it's a half turn. And again, it doesn't have to be super tight. And you're gonna check once you turn the car back on, you're gonna see to make sure that there's no leaks in here. And when it warms up, it expands. And it expands the seal in here too. All right, so that looks good. So now let's just close up the crankcase. Let's put that nut back on with the 17mm wrench and tighten that up to 30 foot-pounds. Place 4.7 quarts of oil in here, and then let's start her up. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the funnel in here. So we have a spot to place our oil. So 4.7 quarts, if that's 1, 2, 3, 4.7 is around here. So right now I'm here. I want to bring it just below that 1 quart, like around here, and then I'll be good. And I could start the engine up safely and check the level. And you're going to want to do one of these as a reminder. Put it on your windshield so you don't forget. Alright, so let's see what's going on with the levels. Check the dipstick. Let's clean it off before we check it. Dunk it back in. And we'll see. Alright, well, looks like the low point is here. I don't know if you can see that. Low point's here, high point's here. So let's try it again. It was a little sloppy. All right, so we're about midway, maybe a little bit more than midway. So we're gonna add just about a half a quart and then see where it takes us, okay? So let's add a half a quart to this and then we'll go from there. And we should be good. All right, so that's how you change the oil on a 2023 Subaru Crosstrek 2.0 liter. 2.5 liter is not gonna be much different. Just check the quantity and the viscosity of the oil, like I said earlier. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.